Hey writers, it's Megan Barnhard, and I'm coming to you on a Friday instead of on a Thursday because I am traveling right now. And one of the things I learned is that my computer gets just as discombobulated with traveling as I do. So I gave it a day yesterday to have a total freak out, and it got a good night's sleep and is doing better today, which is largely how I feel. I'm having a wonderful time visiting a lot of people, um, but it's very challenging for me to travel. And what that's putting me in mind of is the habits that we have and how they serve us. A lot of habits are really fantastic, like waking up every day in the same place and not having to think about where you're going to go to eat breakfast or what you're going to do to get around during the day. Just having things set up can be very powerful. And so I've noticed that my own writing practice has been largely disrupted, and it's given me an opportunity to think about habits, both good and bad. So my initial thought was, gosh, I'm so out of my habit, and I'm really missing that time to make sure I'm getting up at the same time and I'm starting work at the same time and I'm focused on my goals. But the disruption has also been really cool in a lot of ways. Because here's something else that I thought of as I've been traveling. This is my little bottle of travel shampoo. And it is full of, at the very least, 6 different types of shampoo. Because what I do is just keep refilling it, and there's already something in there and I just add more on. And I was really put in mind of how many of us do this with our writing practice, right? We started whenever we started with whatever we started with, and as we learn new things, we just keep filling those in. Now what that means is, just like this little bottle of shampoo, down at the bottom somewhere is probably shampoo that has gone a little rancid or maybe wasn't that effective. Maybe it was a type of shampoo I stopped buying because it didn't work very well, but it's still sitting there in the bottom of the bottle. And as I'm adding on new things to it that work better, they are getting diluted by whatever is down there in those lower geological layers. And I thought, gosh, that's such a powerful way to think about our writing practice and our habits. So as I'm in this place of being really disrupted and thinking, gosh, I wish I could return to my habits, I'm also in a place of asking, what are those habits and how well are they serving me? And because I'm not doing them right now, because I'm outside of them, I'm having some opportunity to think about what I like and want to keep and what isn't serving me. So I would love to invite you to think about your own writing practice in this way. And the first step might be just defining what your writing practice is. That might not be something that you know consciously. And for those of you who write every day, you might have a really set routine. For those of you who are having a difficult time finding the time to write every day, and maybe you're lucky if you write once a week, maybe it's even less frequent than that. I know a lot of people in the group have been talking about the time to write, finding the time to write as being one of the major challenges. But if you can picture in your mind what you do when you write and think about what you do that's the same each time and what your habit is, then you can start to examine it and say, what about that is effective and maybe what's less effective? What are the things in the bottom of the shampoo bottle that aren't serving you anymore? And going somewhere else, going on a trip, or even just taking a conscious day to break from your habits and look at them, I would highly recommend as a way to get that feeling of choice back. Because it is really wonderful to have a writing habit. It is really wonderful to do things automatically. And you know this just from the automaticity of something like getting up and brushing your teeth, or if you're somebody who gets up and does a miracle morning or exercises, or even mundane things like you just automatically get up after dinner and wash the dishes. Habits are very powerful. They get us through a lot of actions that we might not otherwise do. But the most effective habits are the ones that, or rather, habits can be more and less effective, right? So if I have a morning routine, and I've actually kind of run into this recently with my morning routine, if I have a morning routine that doesn't serve me. You know, it's too much time is wasted between one activity and the next. It's taking me too long to decide which exercise I'm going to do on that day. And I kind of have gotten into the habit of sitting there on YouTube and looking through all the videos on Fitness Blender and going, and deciding, right? I've gotten into a habit of lollygagging, basically, and that's not serving me. So breaking free from the habit so that you can consciously look at it and ask, is it serving you? And then getting back to it, knowing that you're working effectively and you're on the right track, I would highly recommend. So 2 actions you can take. 1, identify your writing habits. When do you tend to write? What's your sequence of events? Do you do it between activities? Or is it at the same time of day? Is there a place you go to? Examine it. And then evaluate it. How well is it working for you? What pieces are helping you write more, or what things are really drawing you to write and helping you be effective and efficient? And then depending on what you find in your step 2, a step 3 might be give yourself some time and space away from your habits to explore making new ones. All right, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day and that you're getting a chance to write. And as much as I'm enjoying being out of my context and having a chance to have some fun, I'm really looking forward to getting back to my own writing habits with a renewed sense of commitment and also consciousness as to how I can make them more effective. All right, I will catch you all later. Ta-ta for now. Happy writing.